Hey there guys, welcome back to my playthrough of Devil May Cry 3. We're on mission 19, and then we'll also be getting into mission 20, which are the last two missions of the game. But this mission right here is the single worst mission in Devil May Cry 3, and it features, quite possibly, the worst boss in the Devil May Cry series, and that is Arkham. You'll not understand exactly why he's bad until I get there, but at least you can spam holy waters on him and he'll die. You do not want to give any respect to Arkham. He is so unfinished. He is just a draining, repetitive encounter. It takes an eternity to beat him, and for some reason in the second phase you cannot use any of your abilities. You can't use Devil Trigger, you can't use your styles, you're relegated to Virgil, so he takes up all of your special abilities for some bizarre reason when it makes no sense, and it makes the encounter even more tedious. I'll showcase exactly how bad it is doing it normally, and then I'll just spam holy waters on him. I do not want to pay any respect to Arkham. He's utter garbage. He's worse than Mundus from Devil May Cry 1. But before that point, we have 3 combat encounters with Abyss, and they're not too bad so long as you're staying on top of the enemies properly. So weaken their health down to 2 bars, and then use Double Trigger Explosion. There we go. It doesn't matter so much if they Double Trigger in this first encounter. They're pretty easy to isolate. And you can use the camera to your advantage to make sure that they don't attack you. Just keep them off camera and you're fine. There we go. I question how much Devil Gauge is required to break these mirrors, because the next room coming up, you're not going to be able to damage the Abyss. You have to destroy 2 mirrors that are glowing green, and the mirrors have their own individual HP. It's not a collective HP system, but the mirrors can be destroyed easily using Devil Trigger Explosion. I'm just not sure how many charges it takes to actually destroy them fully, because hitting them with your weapons takes some time. Let's try 4 charges. No, that's not enough. I think it's a full charge, probably. Okay, that one went down quickly. As long as you're right next to the mirrors when they become active, they can be destroyed very quickly using your Rebellion Sword. But you definitely need a full bar of Devil Gauge for the upcoming sequence, because this upcoming sequence is the most annoying part. It's essentially a time sequence against 4 Abyss, and you have to finish them off quickly before time runs out, otherwise the room will reset and you'll have to fight them again. And the problem is, it's very, very annoying trying to cluster them together so that you can easily hit them with Devil Trigger Explosion. At least when they teleport like this in order to do that range attack on you, it's less awkward getting them into a corner in order to weaken them. Oh, come on. I thought I could stay in the air for longer, but I need to deplete his HP down to 2 bars. That was a mistake. I should not have done that. I gotta push this guy over here. There we go. Now I just gotta kill one more. You gotta do it very quickly. See that hourglass in the middle? You've got to kill the enemies before it runs out. Oh, thank God. And also, this is really stupid, but the room can reset even when the last enemy is in the middle of the dying animation. If the game doesn't fully register that the enemy is dead, it will still reset the room. So if that hourglass runs out before this last enemy fully disintegrates, I'll have to fight the enemies again. It's so dumb that it works like that. It should stop the moment his HP goes to 0, but they totally forgot to program that in. And I gotta tell you guys, this room was such a pain in the ass on my initial playthroughs for quite a while, but now that I understand that you can deplete their HP down to 2 bars and then use double trigger explosion to finish them off quickly before any of these enemies double trigger, because of course the enemies mainly double trigger when they witness 2 other enemies dying, it's pretty manageable. I mean, a lot of people tend to use the Tempest move, I think it's called, with Agni and Rudra when they have Swordmaster, but I'm still not at level 3 of Swordmaster, so I can't use that move. But suffice to say, it's really stupid that you have to grind like crazy in order to upgrade your styles. In Devil May Cry 4, you can just use your red orbs to fully upgrade your styles, and it takes no time at all to fully level up the styles. Why they decided to favor some kind of RPG grind with the styles in Devil May Cry 3, I will never understand. Same with this. I will never understand why they thought this was a good idea for a boss fight. Like I said before, Arkham is the single worst boss ever in the entire Devil May Cry series. If you're going to be killing him for some reason, just make sure that you have 30 holy waters. I mean, it doesn't take 30 holy waters to finish off Arkham, but it doesn't matter. Do not pay any respect to this god-awful encounter. You have no idea how time-consuming this boss fight is. And also, these styles, like I mentioned, completely useless when you get to the second phase. These styles are only useful for speeding up the first half of the boss fight. As soon as you get to that second phase when Virgil comes in, all of your style moves are completely useless because for some reason, Virgil takes over the slot for your special skills. It's stupid. And you can't even devil trigger when he's around. It makes 0 sense why they would do that. They just restrict you like this to artificially make the encounter more awkward, as if it wasn't already awkward and tedious enough. And obviously Royal Guard is the better choice, because of course it's your damage dealing style. Maybe Quicksilver can help, because I see people use Quicksilver sometimes, but Royal Guard has been the most reliable stance for the first phase. I don't even know why I'm saying most reliable. There is no point in fighting this boss normally. Just use 30 holy waters on him. It's a complete waste of time fighting him normally. You have no idea how repetitive he is. You have no idea how simplistically designed he is. You have no idea just how much time you're wasting dealing with his spawn. Because he spawns these ads in this encounter. Stay to his side so that you can parry this move. Try not to damage him too much, because if you damage him too much, he'll recoil, and you'll gain access to a range attack. Okay, he's recoiled, so he's gonna do his range attack. This move is annoying. You gotta make sure you jump at the right moment and also move in a strange way. And now he's... this is the most tedious part right here. He spams this move like crazy, where he goes under the floor and he spawns in those ads to mess with you. The ads aren't a problem. You can just keep moving. And they have 2 states. Right now, they're in their more aggressive state where they're trying to rush after me, but this is their passive state where they try to circle you. As soon as they start to circle you, which is very easy to tell because of the sound effect you can hear right now, that's when you gotta use Devil Trigger Explosion, but just keep running when they're in the aggressive state and they will never hit you. There it is. I heard the sound, so it means they're going to circle me. And again, when you get to the second phase, you'll be unable to use Devil Trigger Explosion. Devil Trigger Explosion is your best option for dealing with these enemies. I see people use the Kalina on, but it doesn't kill them instantly, it just knocks them away. So what I normally try to do is when they transition between the aggressive and circling states, that's when I taunt. Because during the initial time frame where they're preparing their circling state, they won't attack you, so it gives you time to taunt them. It doesn't take much Devil Trigger Explosion in order to eliminate them, it's just there are so many of them that keep on populating when you eliminate them. By the way, I do find it quite satisfying how the sound effects that these enemies make when they're chasing you in their aggressive state, that's literally the sound effect from the Drain demos in Resident Evil 3 OG. It's the only thing that's... Oh, god damn it. I ran right into those enemies as they were charging. That was my mistake. Yeah, that sound effect of the Drain demos is quite stimulating for me personally when I'm hearing it. It still doesn't change the fact that this is the worst boss ever made in the entire Devil May Cry series. Okay, well, these are the last few before he comes back into the arena. Gotta get to his side quickly. So it's always 2 slow attacks and then 1 fast attack, and then he repeats this cycle. Are you serious? Yeah, you gotta make sure you're damaging him quickly, otherwise he'll just go back down after a certain amount of time. So I've literally told myself at times when I'm doing this first phase to not even try to use Double Trigger Explosion, because obviously when I get to the second phase I will not have access to Double Trigger Explosion, so it's like I have to get used to that unfortunate parameter with the second phase by just handling it the same way with the first phase, and it's so dumb. Never heard that line before. Dante has so many different quotes while taunting when you have an S-rank multiplier or higher. This is literally how it has to be designed to account for how repetitive and monotonous and tedious this entire boss fight is. So I'm definitely glad I can just do this. That's definitely what the developers are expecting you to do for this first phase, and also for the second phase, because Virgil, with the way you control him, it is utter garbage. It's honestly worse than the swimming controls in Devil May Cry 1, because how it works is that Virgil acts like a doppelganger to you, so he mimics the same actions you do. So if you're pressing square as Dante in order to fire your guns, Virgil will do different actions than he would normally do if you were pressing square when you're playing as him, although I don't think that's entirely accurate because he does have access to a range attack, I believe, when you're pressing square, but that's beside the point. By the way, in case you guys are wondering how long this particular encounter with Arkham took before I eventually restarted, this was about 40 minutes worth of gameplay, guys, all for this one single session with Arkham. That's just a fine example of how unfinished Arkham is, with how much he runs away, and with how tedious this entire encounter is. Gotta back up. He's gonna do the range attack now. Or not. I guess I exhausted him. This is literally all you are doing in this stupid boss fight. Is this even a fight, guys? Like, what the fuck is this? And why is it that at times they just go back underwater? Almost like they had a programming error. This boss fight feels so unfinished in so many ways. The camera's messing with me right now because I can't turn it. You have to literally deplete his HP down to 50% in order for the second phase to begin. And I say it like you want that to happen, but believe me, why you would want to go into the second phase and be forced to not have your Devil Trigger, your style moves, and just favor a really crappy system for controlling Virgil is beyond me. This music is also so repetitive as well. They just go back down for no reason. Why is their AI programmed so weirdly? Yeah, I know. Is he scared? That's the exact time to taunt like that, Dante, because Arkham truly feels scared with how much he runs away and summons his Legion in order to deal with you. So anytime Arkham recoils and he does that range attack, it's only 1 projectile he's firing, but if you keep your distance still, he'll fire 3 projectiles at you. However, that will change in the second phase. I can't believe that developers considered this to be the normal approach you have to favor with Arkham in order to get your S rank or your SS rank. This is their idea of skillful play. This is what I don't understand. Like, when people say, oh, S ranks or SS ranks are always going to showcase the best way to play games, like the best play styles and the like, I'm just like, this is your idea of the best play style? Wasting time with doing this kind of tedious encounter in a not-so-speedy fashion is on par with skillful play? Almost about as dumb as the idea of spamming hundreds of attacks and it's doing like no damage to bosses or enemies, yet as long as you build up those stylish points, you get your S rank. You know, it's actually the perfect time to talk about Devil May Cry 5 right now because I've been playing as V. I've been doing his sections in the campaign so far. I beat the Elder Garian Knight, and I do not like V's gameplay one bit. I'm literally just standing in corners, mashing buttons, hoping that my familiars will actually damage the enemies. Because a lot of the times the familiars just do whatever the hell they want. There are so many moments where the game misinterprets my inputs, and it's just so mind-numbing. And V does so little damage with his familiars a lot of the times, and then you have Nightmare, and Nightmare does whatever the hell it wants. Nightmare does replenish your familiars, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just very mind-numbing what you're doing with V. And back when I was talking about V and how he was an interesting character, I was talking about it from the story side because I only watched the cutscenes, so I had no idea what V's gameplay was like. But now that I've witnessed firsthand with what the gameplay with V is like in Devil May Cry 5, it is atrocious. I genuinely do not understand what they were thinking, and I'm sure I'll get used to it after some time playing as him, and I may have to remap some of my inputs. But that's just kind of the problem I'm having with Devil May Cry 4 and 5. Like, in Devil May Cry 4, I don't really understand how to use Dante properly, and then in Devil May Cry 5, I'm not really sure how to use V properly. Nidhogg was really, really annoying as a boss. That's just something I don't understand with Devil May Cry 5. Like, why did they put V against certain bosses that feel more befitting for Nero or Dante? You're relying upon that kind of third-party system, and I mean third-party in the sense that you don't really feel like you're fighting. You feel like you're a spectator watching your familiars do all the battling. That's what I mean when I say you're like a third party with V's combat sections, and it's really tedious. I don't really know what they were thinking with that. It doesn't make any sense. I wish this camera would shift right now just so I can actually see the right time to dodge. But we're on the second phase right now, and now I do not have the ability to use Devil Trigger, and I'm controlling an AI system that is acting as a doppelganger right now. It's like a second character I'm controlling. And when I mash square, he's gonna attack. When I mash triangle, he'll attack as well. When I jump, he'll jump as well. When I dodge, he'll dodge as well. If I press circle, he comes near me, but a lot of the times it's very unresponsive, or not really unresponsive, it's just not instant. You tap circle, and it could take Virgil a second to actually jump near you. And look, he's just running into a wall because of the direction I'm moving. And you have to lock on to Arkham in order to ensure that V is attacking in the right direction. It's so dumb. Like, how do I get him to get close? I'm not going to get close to Arkham right now, because on this phase, Arkham has access to a grab that is instant. Dodging it is almost impossible, it feels like. And he does it so fast, you just cannot see the telegraph or any kind of startup period. Why does he not just attack independent of your actions? Why do I have to control Virgil? It doesn't make sense. And why is my Devil Trigger disengaged? I'm mashing Devil Trigger right now, nothing's happening. And because Virgil is mapped to the circle button, I don't have access to Real Guard right now. I can't use Trickster, I can't use Swordmaster, I can't use Gunslinger, I can't use Quicksilver, I can't even use the Doppelganger style, although technically I am, because Virgil is acting as my Doppelganger. And all Arkham is doing is just spamming this range attack. He's charging at me, and he fires even more projectiles at me. These projectiles do so much damage, by the way. I'm not going to do the Stinger attack, because if I do the Stinger attack and I put myself near Arkham, it's going to be bad. And of course, because I don't have Devil Trigger Explosion, I can't use it to eliminate these enemies. I have to use my guns. But something you'll notice in the second phase, when you're fighting these enemies, it takes them less time to actually transition into the passive state where they're circling you. So when they're in the aggressive state and they're transitioning to the passive state, it takes them less time compared to the first phase. So it's like they knew this is going to be an issue, so they just decrease the time it takes for these enemies to go into the circling state. And I cannot believe that is their idea of a patch for this kind of bizarre choice with a second phase, with disabling your abilities for no reason. Like, what crack were the developers smoking when they designed this? And I can't get Virgil to properly aim at the enemies, because I have to be locked on it, but yet if I lock on, he'll prioritize that enemy, and he won't even get the other enemies in the process. He's having so much trouble hitting the enemies as well because of the way he's mimicking my actions and with how he's just like running into walls right now. I can understand it a bit if V instantly killed these enemies, but he doesn't. His damage is almost similar to yours. There's just no sense with what they have done with this piece of shit encounter. And because Royal Guard is disabled, I can't do the method for firing the spiral faster unless I swap weapons. But even then, it's risky because I'll put myself in the enemy's sights. when they attack me. This is probably the worst team-up I have ever seen in a game ever, because it's not even a team-up. They're playing this epic music like we're doing something spectacular with uniting as brothers, and yet all I'm doing is just controlling a doppelganger of myself that is incapable of dealing with the enemies himself. He's just mimicking my actions for no reason, and he's disabling my abilities, so I hate him as a companion in the process. This is just laughable in its stupidity right now. Resident Evil 4 Remake never did anything this fucking stupid, because of course there was no partner companion or anything like this. And see, like, it's risky to even attack them because of the fact that so many of them are attacking me. I'm gonna use a large star just to survive, because you can't heal at all during this second phase since your devil trigger is absent for no reason. I can attack them as they're transitioning into the passive state, but it's not really that effective. You're pretty much on your own with this stupid encounter. Virgil is completely useless. Not for this stupid part. And he's got me, so I control Virgil now, but my health is draining like crazy. This is why you can't get close to him. Like, did you even see the grab happening? There's just, like, no startup period for that grab. He can grab you instantly, and it's bullshit. His hand literally just appears out of nowhere and grabs you in a split second. It is utter garbage. And using the Spinel, Ebony, and Ivory combo is dangerous right now. I didn't even see him glow red that time. And he just fired those projectiles. Look at him, he's just spamming that attack! You can't even get close to him properly! And he won't even prioritize Virgil because he knows how useless Virgil is in this encounter. Always stay behind him, although I think at times he can grab you even when you're behind him. It's pretty bullshit. Oh god, oh god, oh god! That was dangerous. And he's going away now. Now we have to waste time with this tedious process. You see what I mean when I say it's just miles better to use the Holy Waters and not pay any respect to this piece of shit encounter? You know, I'll never understand why Devil May Cry 1 punished you for using the items when they literally placed items in the world like they wanted you to use them at some point in the story. But apparently, punishing the player for using the Untouchables against Mundus in order to speed up his boring and tedious and downright broken encounter, that's apparently worth punishing the player for. Like, why? It makes zero sense why they would do that. What a waste of time. You know, I even heard a pro Devil May Cry 3 player mention that this boss was incredibly repetitive and tedious. So even the pros hate this stupid boss fight. And normally I just assume that a lot of hitless run players, speedrunners, and all these other kinds of players. Like, whenever you have these kinds of people playing these games, I always feel like they're very quick to excuse a lot of the issues with the games very quickly. And they're just like, oh, if I can do this easily in this so-called professional playstyle, then this section has no issues. But to hear that from a pro Devil May Cry 3 player who said this boss fight was tedious was genuinely surprising. Whoa! See? That's exactly why it's very dangerous doing that Spiral, Ebony, and Ivory combo. Because if I mess up, I'm going to take damage easily. But what else can I do? There's just no thought put into whatever the hell they've done with this stupid encounter. It doesn't even feel accommodating for the combat styles and the combat systems of the game. I think he's trying to grab me. my god. I fucking knew that was gonna happen. There was no way I was gonna dodge that. Again, how do you get away from that properly? And he's going under again. Fantastic. Like, look how much of his HP is left. Does it even look like I'm making a dent? Nah, fuck this. I'm done. I'm just gonna let him kill me, and I'll just restart. Look how much quicker this encounter goes when you use the Holy Waters. And as soon as the Holy Water is active, you can just immediately go into the menu and pop another one. You can deal so much damage to Arkham before he even gets into the arena. I at least took the time to purchase all this with red orbs I was getting from the enemies and from the missions. The developers don't view this as skillful. They instead view whatever the hell I was doing, fighting him normally, as skillful. Really? You should have actually designed a better boss fight so that I wouldn't have to do this, you stupid developers. Some penultimate showdown this is, game. This is like pre-alpha levels of quality. I'll gladly use the items to bypass this piece of shit encounter and actually get to a significantly better boss fight, which is Virgil. Because Virgil as the final boss is a lot of fun. And it's done. How epic. How exciting. But you're only making me do this because of the fact that you developed an incompetently assembled section. I hope you're proud of yourselves. And I'm not even going to save because I don't want to have to spend on the Holy Waters again. So now we can actually get to Mission 20, which is really fun. Huh, okay. I guess I attacked him too early.
Come on, Wimp. Now I'm a little motivated. Come on, Wimp. This may be fun. This may be fun. This may be fun.
I was a bit slow to react just then.
Come on, Wimp. Now I'm a little motivated. Come on, Wimp. Now don't get so cocky.
This might be a problem. Oh. Yeah, that is a really great time to use Royal Guard. Parrying this move is always so satisfying when you're fighting against Virgil. He's really delaying me right now. Okay, there's an opening. There are some really cool things you can do with Royal Guard in this encounter. No, you don't. Yeah, that's also very dangerous when he uses the Stinger move because he has access to the Force Edge. Always gotta bear that in mind when you're dealing with Virgil in this boss fight. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, Royal Guard is especially effective against him.
Come on, Wimp. This may be fun.
Getting very close to the second phase right now.
You scared?
That's very unfortunate. He's gonna recover health. Come on.
This may be fun.
Whoa! That was close.
This may be fun. Come on, Wimp. Now I'm a little motivated. Come and get me. Now I'm motivated.
Okay, so you don't have to use Devil Trigger Explosion anymore. You do have to use regular Devil Trigger, though, because he is so aggressive in this part. Try to iframe through the swords as well. Whoa! Just keep moving. You're fine. He only does 2 attacks here. The 5 Helmbreaker slams, and then that 5-hit combo that always ends with the Stinger.
Come on, Wimp.
I should not be holding L1 right now.
This may be fun. This may get so cocky. Come on, Wimp.
You also have to jump right here. So on this second phase, you cannot parry the full judgment cuts. You have to jump an iframe through the last one because he will always retaliate with Force Edge. Had to use Devil Trigger just then. Oh, this one was fun. So there's two different variations. There's going to be like the random circles around you that you have to stay still and parry the ones that come on top of you in a certain rhythm. Or there's the one where you got to run away. Okay, this is the one where you have to run away. It's really well designed. See? Really well designed. Rail Guard is so effective against him, it's awesome. Really satisfying using it. Got a Devil Trigger now. Try to hold X when you're avoiding those 5 jumps, so that you get a higher jump. I keep holding L1. Why do I keep doing that? It's such a force of habit with me to hold L1 here.
Come on, wimp. This may be rash. Come and get me. This may get so cocky.
I'm coming. Oh, I forgot about that stinger. It's so easy to forget about it. It's such a force of habit with me to try to attack him or deflect all of his judgment cuts in the second phase, because I always forget about the Force Edge, because I barely encounter it. He always dashes towards you in the second phase when he's initiating his swords in this Devil Trigger state.
Come on, Imp. This may be fun. Now I'm motivated.
Oh, just gotta keep running. He's finished. He is finished right now.
This may get so cocky. Come on.
Yeah, what a really fun boss fight. I mean, there are problems with it. I don't find it to be as good as other bosses I've done in these kinds of hack and slash games, but it's really amazing. It's definitely a final boss fight done right. This is the first time in the Devil May Cry series where they actually got a final boss right. Mundus was a shit final boss fight. Argosax was really stupid. I mean, he was better than Mundus in that it was a bit more of a fight, even though getting openings on Argosax can be obnoxious. But here, it's actually a real fight. You're utilizing your styles properly, you're watching his moves. He actually has designated openings that make sense. It's just really well designed, and that's pretty much it for Devil May Cry 3. A piece of shit, second to last boss fight that represents the worst boss ever in the entire Devil May Cry series, but a really fun final boss fight that is the first time the Devil May Cry series got a final boss fight right. I'm sure at this point you're expecting me to start my Devil May Cry 4 playthrough and then eventually my Devil May Cry 5 playthrough, but I feel like I've been putting off my updated Resident Evil Village retrospective, so I feel like I should be postponing those playthroughs and favoring my Resident Evil Village retrospective entirely, especially since my Devil May Cry videos have barely been getting any views, and yet my Resident Evil content has been getting a lot of views, and the urge to get back to more Resident Evil content has been hitting me. Like, I want to do playthroughs of Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2 OG, and even the other Resident Evil games if I so choose, and then also doing my updated Resident Evil Village retrospective. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll go back to uploading Resident Evil content because I am missing it, and I'll just upload some videos here and there from Devil May Cry 4 and 5, like with the bosses, for instance.